So this is my review for Everybody Wants Some. Two exclamation points. This is, they keep calling it the spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused. It's written and directed again by Richard Linklater. And that is kind of all you have to really know if you just wanted to go see it, is that it was very similar to Dazed and Confused. But this time, instead of high schoolers in the 70s, it's a group of college baseball players in the 80s. So it's pretty much, it's interesting. I think Dazed and Confused was Linklater, kind of reminiscing and thinking about his high school years, and this is pretty much him thinking about his college days, because apparently he was a baseball player in college in Texas. So I don't know if they ever specifically say this is set in Texas, but I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, we start with the main character named Jake. He shows up to the house. There's two houses that are shared by all the baseball players, and it's the Thursday before school starts in the fall. So the movie actually takes place over, let's see, 4 days. Starts on Thursday, goes up until the beginning of class on Monday, and it gives you like kind of a countdown of the days and stuff until school, which is kind of funny. So Jake is kind of the main character. He's new, one of the freshmen. And then you have a bunch of other supporting characters. I won't get into all of them. Everybody here is unknown actors for the most part. I think some of them have had smaller roles in TV shows and stuff like that, but for all intents and purposes, it's unknowns. I don't recognize any of them. One of them is played by Wyatt Russell, who is actually Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son, which is kind of funny. And there's a couple of characters in there. They kind of have a feeling of Matthew McConaughey's Wooderson character and stuff like that. But it's basically just has a couple of these freshmen. They're in these houses with the upperclassmen, showing them the ropes, and they're just kind of partying it up for the first couple of days before school starts. They're trying to get a hang of what's happening with college. There's a little kind of philosophical talk about where do we fit in. They're kind of going to different types of clubs. They're going to a disco, they're going to a country bar, they're going to hang out with some punk bands, stuff like that. Also some drama school kids. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of the movie. Sorry, looking behind me. So yeah, obviously nothing like super serious. It's kind of like a party movie, reminiscing about old times. I liked it. It's a good movie. It's obviously well done, well directed, good script, good dialogue, and all of that. The one thing that I kind of found interesting was that I wondered how people like this that grew up same age at this point. So if you were going to college, really early 80s, how you'd feel about this. If you would like it a lot more, that kind of feeling, because that's kind of what it's going for. I think Dazed and Confused did that with the late 70s. But I think also Dazed and Confused really transcends generations, because I love that movie. Everybody I know loves Dazed and Confused. I think that's because maybe that movie just really, really nails high school in general and just does it extremely well, even if you didn't grow up in the 70s. Obviously I didn't. I was born in 86. So for some reason people can just kind of identify with that. Maybe the different groups that you see in Dazed and Confused, all trying to hang out kind of thing. Not a lot of us. None of my friends got beaten with paddles in school and stuff like that. All that hazing wasn't really happening. But for something about that movie just really connects with, I think, anybody that went to high school. Whereas this movie, I think it does a decent job of connecting you with what it would be like to start college. It's pretty interesting that way. I liked it. It gets you a good vibe of what's going on. But there's also, there are like these ultra competitive guys that are baseball players, so it's a little more unique than Dazed and Confused, just high schoolers. So it's a little different. I think this is following really one character. This is mostly Jake's story, the freshman. You don't really go off and interact with other people and their stories by themselves. And maybe that's one thing that was a little more interesting about Dazed and Confused as well, is that there was multiple groups. You know, you had Randy Pink Floyd was probably one of the main characters, but then you also have Wiley Wiggins' character, Mitch, the freshman. So you have like the upperclassmen and the freshmen. They both get their own interesting stories at different points. And then you also have the group of like the nerdy kids, like Adam Goldberg's character. So you have these different groups that you can follow throughout the movie. I think that worked a little bit better than just following this one guy. So, I mean, it's still definitely a really good movie. I'm giving it a 3.75 out of 5. And just other movie connections, of course. Dazed Confused, if you like it, definitely would watch this. I think it's a great kind of follow-up to that. Same kind of feeling. It's like Dazed and Confused, but a little more like Animal House style, you know? I think it's another good connection. So, yeah, I think that'll be it. All right.